How's it, everyone? And welcome back to the Valley of the Varbs with myself, Daniel, and Kevin.
Yes, boys, we are back.
Hello.
Are you happy that I was like myself, Daniel, and I sounded like I was Daniel. Daniel.
It's pretty weird that he changed his name this week to Daniel. I'm not gonna lie. It was Kevin at one point.
Listen to this epic look cringe, man.
Epic le cringe, man.
I mean,
not the one
cringe
who
the
thinks
epic.
cringe,
Shut up.
no? Did you say anything right?
No, I can't, Daniel. Maybe I'm dyslexic, huh? Did you think of that?
Yes. Cringe la epic.
I don't know.
Epic
I have
le
a
cringe,
feeling.
okay?
I have a feeling none of y'all are dyslexic.
I don't know. I don't think I'm dyslexic, but a lot of the time,
Oh wait, don't make claims if you're not actually. Okay.
no, I'm not actually.
That's pretty problematic. Don't take anything he says seriously.
Ouch. My feelings. No, but I think it's just a common thing that you'll accidentally fuck up a number. If it's 643, you'll say 634.
600 and that's not dyslexia, my dude.
I'm just saying. I didn't say it was. I said I think it's just a common mistake that I make when I'm either doing maths or whatever. Sometimes I just write the number like that by accident.
What scream a separate number?
Huh?
Just say a different number that you actually mean.
Yeah. Usually it's the last two numbers of the sequence, then I'll fuck it up.
Oh, okay. That's
It's not that I'm dyslexic. It's just sometimes I just do that by accident.
press X to doubt. Anyway,
Interesting way to start. That's all I'm gonna say.
What?
Quite an interesting way to start this.
yeah, talking about dyslexia.
Anyway, thanks Daniel for the introduction.
You're welcome, Daniel. I mean, Michael.
Before we get started into the main body of our podcast that you have come to love, I just want to quickly reiterate the fact that we are doing Q&A sessions. So, yeah, from the last video, I think maybe it's because we said it so late in the video, not a lot of people were, got to that point, but that's why I'm saying it right now. But if there's any topics you want us to talk about, or is there anything you need advice on or whatever, put it down in the comments. Do it right now, okay? So you can forget about it, and then we'll answer those questions, and we'll try our best to give you a decent answer for the next episode. Right, but
This is the comment countdown. If you don't leave a comment in the next 10 seconds, I'll be mad.
Daniel's gonna try and vibe check you.
Actually, I'm not allowed to do that without starting from a mission, okay? So,
Alright.
okay, well, that being said, guys, I don't know. This is episode 8, I believe. So yeah, we'd just like to quickly say thank you to everyone who's listening to our podcasts, because our channel has grown quite exponentially, and it's quite nice to see those nice comments. So yeah, we'll keep it up from our end, and I hope more and more people come and listen to our podcasts. Anyways, enough waffling. Let's get into the topics. And today's topic was actually quite sensitive, in that so people have personal opinions about how the government should be handling the COVID-19 crisis, and here in South Africa, the same thing's happening. There's criticism from people about the government and what they should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing, and so we decided, you know what, let's jump onto that train as well, and see where it goes. But I will say that neither myself or Michael are very good at business, and Daniel is the business one here. So when it comes to economy and stuff,
I mean, look, I'm not claiming that I'm that great, okay? I'm still in school.
No, we're just claiming that you know the most between the three of us.
yeah, exactly.
Just to make that very, very clear.
So if you are a business if you're a businessman or some economist,
The fuck are these dumbasses saying?
yeah. Anyway, so who wants to get us started? What do you think our government isn't doing so great right now?
Everything.
Everything. I mean,
Yeah. What?
for me at
Everything.
least, sorry.
I lagged.
Oh.
Oh, man.
No, for me at least personally, it's I think the response, the speed of the response, is quite good. Because I think it was 2 weeks then we had lockdown when we first discovered that COVID-19
Something
was
like
in
that.
South Africa. Yeah. So the response was very quick, but you see, here's the thing: having a good response, but not having a good maintenance of that lockdown or something, and that's where I think South Africa didn't really do as well. Because I mean, there's still people roaming the streets. I know it's level 4
Yeah.
now, but still.
But just think of it this way: a lockdown doesn't stop it; it just delays it.
I am inevitable.
And you know what's great about doing a lockdown though, is you can prepare. But you know what our government did? Nothing during that time. China built hospitals, right? Our government sat there, just chilling, just vibing.
Just
you know?
farming.
And then extended it because they didn't know what to do when it was still going up during a lockdown. Right?
What? What do you mean? The cases are still going up despite being on full lockdown?
Yeah, no, what are the odds?
Could
Yeah,
it be
like
because
our-
of our bad management of our country in general? No, not at all.
Yeah, no, never mind the fact that we're now going at 1,600 cases a day.
Guys, I have the perfect solution. Let's ban alcohol and cigarettes, because that's gonna save the issue.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's
See,
one of the
I understand the alcohol bit though, because
but why?
no, because when you have alcohol, you tend to have a party, or you tend to become more sociable. And they also, so one reason is you don't want people to be throwing.
Yeah, but then it just grows their legal market.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, it still deters a majority of the population.
I'm not so sure about that.
I mean, you're trying to tell us you bought alcohol from the black market?
No, but some people have.
Yeah, I know, but it deterred your family from doing it. It deterred my family from buying alcohol.
Yeah, but given a few more weeks, I think a lot of people would have started buying from the black market.
You have to keep in mind, it's South Africa. The frequency of people breaking the law here is exceptionally high.
True.
Even for small things.
True.
Plus,
Whether it be, how many times have you seen beggars on the side of the road selling pirated DVDs and the cops do nothing about it? Or window washers that technically aren't allowed to be there, but they're there anyways.
See, here's the thing though. I feel like it's the management that's not great.
Yeah, well,
The government can quickly get the admin work done. They can say we're going into a lockdown. This is what we're gonna do. But I feel like the government hasn't actually done anything in that time. So, for example, especially in China, right? Yes, it's authoritarian, but if you were caught walking outside, it was game over for you. Absolutely game over. During
Yeah, to
level
be fair,
5, yeah.
In terms of the South African government, it's not like they can just make you disappear if you walk outside.
Fair enough. I mean, it's not like anyone disappears in China, but
Yep. They never existed, right?
but I get your point.
See, another thing is also our economy is now screwed, right? We were in a recession before we went into lockdown because we don't do well with economic growth. I think for the past few years we've been sitting at 0% economic growth.
Jeez,
0. Serious?
Yeah.
Jeez,
And
okay.
then we go into lockdown, and there's no businesses working. The economy completely shuts down, and suddenly we start shrinking. There's higher unemployment because people are going out of business. and that's a higher poverty rate.
Okay, okay. But you see, like, if you have half your workforce dying, you still have that problem anyway. So lockdown was kind of necessary, though.
Yes, but the economic long-lasting damage isn't going to help either.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, what you're going to have people dying of the coronavirus or because they can't like feed their families.
Yeah, true. Oh
So-
man.
And then, like, in terms of the whole alcohol and cigarette, those are industries that could have still done well. And they've had to throw away stock, and they can't produce any more stock. Well, they couldn't. Now they have been, since we went into level 4, but they still couldn't sell to a South African market. They had to go internationally.
Mm-hmm.
So that is incredibly damaging to our large, like, wine industry.
Wasn't there a time when, like, didn't a company have to get rid of like 75% of all its stock or something?
Yeah, they had to just throw it away. And they can't produce any, so
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Oh man.
You're going to have to lay off people. And then the government who's put in all these funds, that's not going to last for long, because that's not a lot of money, even though it's billions of rand, which is not that much internationally. What are they going to do? They're going to go into more debt internationally. The rand is going to get weaker,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's just like screwed from all sides, private and government. Oh, and they're still funding SAA, which has just been a disaster for years.
When hasn't SAA been a disaster?
Yeah, well, now they can't even fly, and they're still having to pay.
Why though?
Because the government doesn't want to privatize anything.
Hmm.
So, and it is not run well.
No, it really
And-
isn't run well. Yeah.
So, it goes into so much debt every year that the government has to pay it out all the time. And it's the same thing with Eskom as well. Like, our neighbors, like countries, we give them electricity. Obviously, they would pay us, but not all countries have the available balance to pay us back. For instance, Zimbabwe, who like still has a massive debt going on because of the electricity they haven't paid back. And you think they're gonna do that now after the coronavirus?
Oh no, for sure no.
So it's just like a whole disaster.
Okay, okay. Interesting points. Makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense though. But also,
It doesn't end there.
oh, it doesn't end there. Okay, carry on, carry on. This is getting interesting.
Well, the ANC, which is the leading party, right, in the country, they are very politically motivated. They do things to win elections and voters rather than what's good for the country.
Hmm.
So, a major problem is that they have now, going into level 3, they are allowing churches and places of worship to go back. Right.
Yeah, I saw that on the news.
The big problem with that is they allowing that to happen before businesses are allowed to go back entirely.
The church is a business.
Yes,
So that was very.
for a lot of people it is.
I'd just like to quickly say, Michael
That
does.
was a joke.
There was a joke. Don't take it, please. Don't take that too serious. But
So that's
yeah.
like a major problem. You're doing that to get voters.
Okay.
And they've got strong connections with various churches, for instance.
Yeah.
Where it's not so great for the economy when you're sending churches back, which are just going to end up spreading the virus more. And we may have to go back into another lockdown. And businesses like that are a certain size and certain types of businesses still can't function.
That is a point though. Why did they? Like, because, you know, obviously as a Christian myself, you know, it's great to be able to go back to church because after all that's like my entire religion. Anyway, but I see what you're coming from because when you actually think about it, it makes no gain for the country's sake other than if you had some other type of hidden agenda involved, which would be, you know, getting people to vote for your party.
And it seems like they've opened up every stage of the country, even though we're going back into level 3, except for the parts that actually matter. For
Yeah.
instance, like schools are going back, but at certain grades only,
Mm.
that are not necessarily beneficial. For instance, 7.
But I mean, grade 7 is quite important if you want to go to a different high school, though.
You write entrance exams anyways.
Fair enough.
For people who don't know, grade 7 is the last grade in middle school in South Africa.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know how I'd describe it to anyone else, but it's important.
It's like an American 8th grade.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait, but then what's a
Before
college?
freshman, isn't it?
What?
What?
It's like before freshman year in America, isn't it?
Right, I'm
Because
confused.
no one knows how American school systems work, but
I'm so confused.
don't worry, Kevin.
Okay.
You aren't the only one.
Okay. But yeah, I completely agree with Daniel in that. Why did you open up the church before you opened up, I don't know, selling alcohol, which in South Africa especially is, I would say, is actually quite an important sector.
Well, technically, the alcohol sector is opening at the same time because it's June 1st.
Yeah, but I don't think, wasn't it like not to the same capacity?
Yeah, it's only certain days that it's open,
Yeah.
or that you're allowed to buy, and at certain times as well.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like
It do be kind of confusing, though.
because
It's almost like they've undone all the good that they tried to do
yeah.
for other reasons.
It was like they had a good response, and like the intention, so to speak, was like there, like to actually like try and stop it like in its tracks like immediately. But what they did after was just kind of redundant, and now,
Yes,
like,
yes.
it's not like it's just gonna get even worse. Like we're only expected to peak sometime like August, September or something. You know, like now with schools going back, that's gonna be like a huge thing. Like obviously it's just matric, but still.
Well, it's
Like, in
matric
terms of-
and grade 7, and on
Oh yeah,
July
matric
6th,
and grade
then
7.
a few more grades go back as well.
It's gonna be like ridiculous how much more it's gonna spread. Like
And I
not
would
necessarily
even
like in
argue-
terms of mortality rates and stuff. I think that'll be like okay.
yeah, but it'll be
because yeah.
it'll be as a result because suddenly you
Yeah.
spread homes where people have elderly family members.
Yeah. I just
See, here's also another thing, because, you know, a lot of people might be saying that, oh no, it's because the government doesn't have the necessary resources right now, and they're trying to rush back to getting full capacity. But you can't say that because most of the business sector is still closed.
Exactly. I think only 30% of all staff is allowed to go back countrywide, and only certain types of businesses are allowed to go back.
Yeah.
For instance, like even something as small as a sector where it's hairdressers or barbers, they're not allowed to go back until stage 1.
that's like
Even though
It's
you just be
like-
cutting someone's hair and you'll have a mask on, versus you could get in a crowded church.
Yeah. No,
I'm not sure about communion for Christian
right.
church, but that could be a major problem.
Communion. Yeah, that could be a big
That's-
problem.
That's a big part of why many people go to church in the first place.
See, also, like, you have to first of like applaud the government for responding so quickly to the crisis, but
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like
at the
they-
same
they had
time,
the correct response.
yeah, but like also at the same time, like, what are you doing now? You're just gonna reverse everything.
And
Yeah.
it's only a matter of time. If our growth rate keeps going up as exponentially as it is, that we're going to have to go back into another full lockdown.
Yeah.
Because
It's kind of like a thing that like most of the teachers have been saying as well. Like,
I think the minute we got out of level 5, we started going up. And I think
Yeah.
for that first week, we got up to like 800. And is it like the second week or third week that we're now at? And it's 1,600.
Yeah. I also think it's because, like I said before, it's the management of it. It's you're not maintaining this sort of strictness that's involved with the lockdown. Because yes, it's level 4. Does not mean you can just go and party all of a sudden with your group of 50 friends. Right?
I think a major problem is also it's really strict in certain areas,
yeah,
but
no, it
really
is.
loose in others.
Like, I know it's like the whole thing that like happened in America, but a lot of people, or at least like South African people on Instagram that I've seen are talking about I can't remember his name now, but he was also like a victim, like police brutality, and like they're saying like justice for. Sorry, I can't remember his name, but like yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah, but there's been so many of them. It wasn't just that one particular guy.
I know. I'm saying like. I can't remember what I was gonna say now. I lost my train of thought. No, it's like I don't know how like quote unquote like harsh or strict like it needs to be, like necessarily. You know, like I feel like the people who are like in those areas, the like military figures or whatever are, but like it could be quite a bit abusive with power.
Okay. But here's the thing though, also, it's for lockdown, especially with like a virus type of thing, I think you have to be strict. There's definitely a certain level of strictness you have to be at, otherwise whatever you're doing isn't going to
agree.
work.
I agree with like there has to be like a certain level of strictness that you're at, but like when it starts becoming like abusive and they just like do it because they want to kind of thing.
Yeah, I think like it's a big problem. Our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, he's not necessarily great at developing an economy. Although I think he's a very intelligent guy and he played an important role like in the struggle during the apartheid years. He hasn't been able to grow the economy when there wasn't a global pandemic. So how are we gonna like be able to recover from this one?
True.
Yeah.
And like, this is not even that bad of a pandemic, based on the death rate.
Yeah.
What would happen
I mean-
if something like more hectic came out?
Flippin' second bubonic plague or something.
Zombie apocalypse, dude.
Oh no. Zombie apocalypse.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be so upset if this goes where I think it goes.
Of course it's gonna go where you think it goes. Come on. We are the king of smooth transitions.
I don't like it.
But yes,
Stop breaking the fourth wall, Michael.
I'll break the fourth wall all I fucking like, Daniel.
Shut up.
but yeah, so all this pandemic stuff, it actually genuinely begs the question of, if we're struggling to handle the pandemic like a virus, what would you do in like a flippin', I don't know, zombie apocalypse, vampire apocalypse? I don't know what type of apocalypses they are.
Vampire apocalypse.
I'm sure, I don't know. I'm sure there's some sort of vampire apocalypse depicted in movies somewhere. No?
Have you ever played Plague Inc? Like Plague Inc involved the game.
No, not that I recall, no.
Have you heard of it though?
Yes.
One of their modes, I can't remember what it's called as well, but you basically play as a vampire and you have to like essentially just like, you know, I think you infect, there's a way of infecting people. I don't know how, but they basically, you make them like become your servants. That's like the whole thing of the vampire. It's just a cool game mode.
Certain version of the vampire.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrifying, dude. I mean, you know, Walking Dead. If you watched Walking Dead and like, yes, it's a movie, but if in Walking Dead and those zombies that aren't fast, first of all, aren't any type of superpowered zombies, and they in the series they're still depicted as managing to wipe out pretty much, I don't know, all of humanity's civilization. Imagine what a zombie like from World War Z could be like.
Yeah, I think like in South Africa, I think we'd be kind of fucked, to be honest. Like
How would you handle it, Michael, if you were like in the middle of one?
me,
Yeah. Like a zombie apocalypse.
I don't know. Like
You gotta give us like locations and I don't know, prep work. What do you got?
well, first you have to find out like, you know, where like the safest place would be, and if there's like hundreds of thousands of zombies just like running around, like kind of chasing you wherever you go, like your house isn't the most safe place. So I think you have to find a place that's big enough to like support a lot of people, so that you can kind of be not self-sustaining, but you can like, you know, it's easier to get around. You're not like solo. You know? So even if like something bad happens, you can be like, "Lol, go die first." You know?
Jesus, Michael.
No, I'm joking.
Right, note to self, do not ever follow Michael in case of zombie apocalypse.
Do
mean,
not
I'd
ever
prob-
give them power.
Just go, you
No,
die
no, I'm
first!
joking. No, but you need somewhere like secure enough that like it's easy to like watch and keep protected kind of thing, but also like you have enough like storage space to like keep your whatever you want to call it, your tribe, so to speak. Not your tribe, but like your sorry your why am I such a loss for words today? Like my god,
Get used to it, that's me every day, dude.
your bunker, your safe like area, your I don't want to say colony because it just sounds wrong, but you get what I mean. Like the people you're trying to protect.
Group.
Oh my god, that literally is the word. Yeah, your group. There you go. Thanks, Dan. As I told you, I was at a loss for words. dog.
My colony! But you see,
yeah.
you see, this is why I think South Africa, from a location standpoint, is uniquely suitable.
You think so?
Because there's so many rural areas, right? And for me, at
Suitable
least,
for the virus to grow, suitable for you to live.
for zombies, dude. We're talking about zombies, dude.
I thought you were
Yeah,
talking
but
about how to
gates
protect yourself from
everywhere,
zombies.
Yeah, no, just listen to this, okay?
Okay.
What makes zombies dangerous is the fact that they swarm. And why do they swarm? Because people who like are infected essentially are infected from other zombies. If you get what I'm saying.
Okay.
Which in my mind kind of makes urban areas the dangerous places, because there's obviously a high level of people, a high amount of people, which means a higher number of zombies.
Okay.
Right? So obviously in that logic you have to go somewhere rural, somewhere where there's not a lot of people in to begin with. So in
Okay.
that case it would be like a rural area, pretty much the middle of nowhere. But this is the problem I have with that thinking, is that if you are in the middle of nowhere and you, I don't know, you can't grow crops or you can't become a farmer or something, where do you get your food and stuff from? That's the question I've been like trying to work out the whole time.
Well, also, like, I think there's the bonus of gates everywhere.
What, in rural areas?
No, just around all of South Africa, just people have gates between properties.
And wolves.
Yeah,
That's
true.
the thing.
So you can just chill in your house.
Oh,
But I mean, let's be honest. If you have something like flipping World War Z zombies, no
that's
gate
what I was
is
saying.
gonna
'Cause
help you, fam.
I was working off the logic that Kevin was saying. Like
Dig
they were
train.
swarming on like on top of each other, and then just like got over the wall and started like attacking people. I remember watching that movie, and I was like,
Like
shit,
spikes on your wall.
it's not gonna help like
It's
forever.
zombies, dude. They don't. I don't know if they feel pain or not, but they don't seem to care.
Yep, they'll be stuck on the wall.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. Eventually, they will
It
form
depends how
essentially
long
like a
your sparks
cushion
are.
layer. You know that?
Like my
Depends
house
on what
has
your sparks are, okay? So
okay. I have an electric fence and spikes on my wall, right? But that wouldn't help in my eyes, because like they just don't care. Like they're probably like a lot more resilient to death than a normal human.
You see, here's the thing. I don't think zombies are resilient to death. I think it's because they don't feel pain, which makes them dangerous. Because if you have essentially, think about it in like in a military point of view. If you have essentially 400,000 soldiers who don't care if they die or not, who don't care if they get shot, you essentially win a war, because you can just send men up and they won't stop. They'll keep going. Whereas if you have
Not
400,000
necessarily
people,
that you'll win a war.
yeah, well,
Like
yeah,
like if they don't feel pain, like you have an advantage. You know, but like
but if you're not afraid to die, then there's a certain level of advantage that you get.
yeah.
For instance,
yeah, no, I
the
get that.
Vikings who viewed dying in battle as a way to go to Valhalla, or the Japanese during
Japanese during World War II was
World War II,
rough, dude.
they didn't even want to be taken prisoner. They saw that as defeat, so they would
Yeah.
rather kill themselves.
They'd pretty much blow themselves up just to be able to get the American medic trying to save them.
Or even the Viet Cong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't know if you know the stories, but during Vietnam, one of the biggest tactics the Viet Cong used and the North Vietnamese army used is pretty much charge. Yeah, because American had air power, right? So they could bomb the living shit out of everyone. But they can't bomb someone. They can't bomb the enemy if the enemy is on top of your own troops. That was the logic the Vietnamese had. So essentially the logic was, you get so close to them that you can grab them by the belt, then they can't blow you up, because then they'll be blowing themselves up, which in other way they viewed as a win.
Exactly, and
I
they were
got you,
willing
Tom.
to sacrifice their lives to do damage to the enemy.
Yeah. So that's the thing with the zombie as well, is that they honestly don't care. They would just carry on going. So you see, I think rather than preventing zombies getting close to you, rather get away from them. I think that's my logic. Because eventually, no wall or no gate is gonna hold back 7
But I
billion
feel like
zombies.
you can't like
I mean, it's not like they're going
get
to
away from them forever. That's
True.
the thing.
True.
I think the ideal place is you go find an island somewhere,
What if they could swim?
close to a main.
Just do you imagine if zombies could swim? Oh my god.
Listen, man, we're working
Yeah, I
off
think
movie
that-
logic. The ocean's a safe place.
I think they'll struggle a little bit to swim. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, true. If they like lose
7 billion people can't form a bridge across the entire ocean.
So
big
Let's just say that.
Oh, that reminds me. I remember watching a video of this like couple who lived on a yacht for 5-7 years.
just get like a cruise liner and just stack it with
Yeah,
like
exactly.
actual people and just chill.
But then what about food? Because you can't grow
Fish.
food on a cruise
Yes,
line.
you can grow food.
You just fish,
You
dog.
you use the entire like decks to like grow crops. Then you fish off the side, and then you stop at mainlands because it's a ship, and send out boats to go find food.
I like this. I like this plan.
Wait, this is what we're doing.
This is what we're doing, fam. But here's another problem. Where are we gonna get a cruise ship, dude?
Steal one.
Exactly.
See, here's the thing I have, right?
It's
Cruise
not
ship
illegal,
idea
there's
is
no
good.
laws.
No, cruise ship idea is good. The problem is, where can we find a cruise ship that won't be infected with zombies? Because if there's a
Well, one
cruise
like
ship,
already in the like ocean.
sorry,
Like if they're already like out in the middle of the ocean somewhere.
yeah, but then we can't get to them.
You take a smaller ship and you try to find them.
Could work.
Surely there's also like empty ones that are docked waiting to be boarded. at
Yeah,
different
but then what about like fuel and stuff?
solar.
Or cruise ship? You see, here's the thing though.
You-
I
you
think
put up
I like
sail.
I really like the idea of a boat, but I think a cruise ship's just too much.
You put up sails, right?
No. Just listen to this. What if we get like just a decent sized sailboat,
Yeah. you
like a
get,
yacht, like one of those
schooner.
super yachts?
I don't think a super yacht. I think like just a normal, like smaller yacht would actually be alright. If I'm being honest.
Yeah,
Yeah, but how many people are you gonna have as well? You also need space, like, to grow food. As
Well, that's the other thing. Like, how many people would you plan on having? If it's just the three of us, then like one of those smaller yachts, like that's alright. But at the same time, yeah, we also need to like grow food and shit. But if you're planning to host, like, I don't know, how many people would you say? Like 20, 50 plus?
I don't know.
see, here's the
Then,
thing.
then
because-
like, the super yacht isn't a bad idea.
Because when I go down to Plet every year for my holiday, right? You see these yachts chilling, and they're all decent sized yachts. And from what I've seen, right, we could fit about, like, comfortably fit 8 people, and still have room to grow food and do whatever. We could maybe squeeze like 16, but I don't think we would have enough room to grow food and whatever then. But also, like,
And it's nice because if like one of your friends somehow get infected, you can just chuck him overboard.
Jesus, Michael.
Also, nobody ever considers eating the zombies.
I wonder why. What
No,
the
you
hell?
you cook the zombies and you just start chowing down. If they want to eat you, you eat them. It's just payback.
You just start like waving
Oh my
there, like
god.
you're like slightly further away from like the shore. You see all the zombies like staring at you, like, "Oh, this is what happened to you, bitch! Don't come near me." You just start trying on their mates,
You harpoon them, bring them out to the ship, and just like put them over a fire.
beat them with the fucking mallets, and then you cook them.
So you know what you're talking about, right? You're talking about eating rotting human flesh.
If you cook it good enough,
Jesus Christ.
I mean, Daniel's got a point,
really,
dog.
really burn that stuff. You know?
God has left the room.
The server. God left the server ages ago, bro. He was like, "Here's Corona," and he just ditched. We're just like, "Thanks, bro."
Everyone gangs it till you haven't eaten for a week.
I mean, we did go on Outward Bound, so we
Then
got
you
close.
start. Then you start looking at your friend. You're like, "Damn, he kind of looking like a snack, though. Not in like that way, but you know,
Michael,
yeah."
do you know how close I was to eating you on Outward Bound?
Talk.
You were there for 4 days.
Oh
It
my
wasn't even that
word.
bad. Yeah, especially you and I. We were only there for 4 days.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
Michael, I think with the zombie idea, I think we need to leave Kevin behind.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Why? Is it because I'll eat you, or you're worried that I'll eat all the zombies?
You'll eat us.
Yeah.
Oh man. You know, actually, I'm
Don't tell
thinking.
Kevin though. You can't do that. We're gonna ditch him, Daniel.
I won't.
Well, you can't get you to the yacht then.
Oh shit! Hey, Kevin. We didn't know you were there.
Hi. Oh man, what has this conversation become?
Yes.
From talking
Exactly.
about
agree,
what we
Daniel.
would do to eating zombies.
Okay, like, let's just ignore this, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
moving on.
Kevin behind, but
You
whatever.
know, speaking
What-
about zombies and how you'd like exterminate them, obviously you'd need weapons. Which brings us to a point
Oh,
of does everyone deserve
oh, so
the
smooth,
right to own a gun?
so smooth. I'm proud of you, Michael.
He finally
Oh.
gave in.
He finally learnt it. Finally learnt the secret of a smooth transition.
I was literally planning this for like 20 minutes in my
Don't worry, we were literally about to say, so you almost missed your opportunity.
head.
See, the thing with guns.
Very nice.
Okay. I don't think anyone should be able to own a gun, because if you're like, I don't know, something wrong with your head, then giving you a gun might be a
see,
bit
that's
of
what,
a
like,
problem.
America seems to operate on the logic that like they have tests for that.
But
like
you can't.
for
I don't
like
know.
they test whether you like they essentially like test whether you're crazy or not. They can do like a psychological test on you. right? But the same thing with you know, they had the Las Vegas shootings at like the Ariana Grande concert. Like that guy didn't have any like records of like failing a psychological test or whatever, and he was a gun owner and he just massacred like however many people. So you know, like there's still that issue. Like one day you can just be like, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna go do this just because, you know, and then he just like ended his life straight afterwards, so he couldn't like be persecuted for it or serve however many years in prison.
Okay.
So like
The
it's a bit
people
of a
own guns.
it's a double-edged sword, because on one hand you have the argument of, oh, it's for just like self-defense, but on the other hand, like in America, the like rate of school shootings before lockdown at least was like exceptionally high,
Yeah.
you know. And I know South Africa doesn't allow people to own guns, I'm pretty sure.
No,
I'm not sure
you
about,
are-
I'm not sure about
What do you
handguns.
mean,
Yeah.
dude? I have guns like chilling in my house.
The illegal trade though.
Well,
is like,
they're very against it, is what I mean. Like guns
yes,
in general.
how much gun violence still happens here?
I don't know.
I don't think it's that
I don't
high.
think it's that high.
No,
Is it high?
it is high. I'm pretty sure. Think about how many murders happen per day.
Yeah, but then like, how many murders happen in America per day?
Just as good.
Well,
Also
naturally,
consider
we have a
that,
higher
like,
crime rate, but still less population.
Because no, because I remember reading somewhere that South Africa, murder-wise, is actually relatively safe. Because in South Africa, the biggest problem comes from petty crimes, so small crimes like robbing a house. Though it's not, obviously, all crime is bad, but small crimes, as in like robbing a house or carjacking, stuff like that. Whereas in America, the bigger problems come from like gangs, school shootings, people like the Las Vegas shooting, and you know, stuff like that.
don't we rank in like the top 20 for gun violence in South Africa?
I don't think so, because I'd say we've got a relatively strict gun law.
Well, I went and checked it, right? Okay.
I'm checking it now.
In America, an estimated 16,000 people were murdered in 2018.
Okay.
I can't find the 2018 statistics for South Africa, but the 2016 statistics is 19,000.
Oh, okay. Well, then my source is wrong. Jesus.
No, I'm looking at Business Tech from 29th of August 2018. Brazil ranks the highest with gun deaths.
No, but that's because of like cartels and shit.
Yeah, they've got 43,200 deaths, 19.4 deaths per 100,000. We are ranked at 12 at 6.9 deaths per 100,000.
Can you check what ranks Switzerland is? Because I know Switzerland's gun laws are because
Switzerland's laws are strict in general.
yeah, but here's the thing though, everyone pretty much owns a gun in Switzerland. It's pretty easy to get a gun in Switzerland. Because the idea of Switzerland is that I don't have an army because my people is the army.
187 attempted and 45 completed homicides.
In Switzerland.
Yeah.
See, this is
0.50 per 100,000.
See, here's the thing though, because people say if you take away guns, it solves the problem. I don't think it does, because black market becomes a
it's
thing.
it's the same thing. Like you take away alcohol, and then it just becomes a massive issue for like crime, like against like a law and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, because
you
people
can
start selling it
register-
illegally.
You can
Look what
register.
happened. Like in America, that happened. Like they banned alcohol, and people are going to like secret pubs, like hidden across like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
country.
He is talking about like the 1920s here. So.
Yes,
yeah.
that's what
Just in case
Yeah.
the listeners didn't catch on. Okay.
So it's the same thing. like-
I believe that just let people have guns.
Just let people have guns.
Yeah, because
But then, like, that's
again, like,
that's the thing that goes on in America. It's like, just let people have guns, and there are so many problems that happen in America.
yeah, but I don't think it solves because you ban things.
But
Black
you
market
see, no,
trade.
here's the thing I'm trying to like figure out is in Switzerland it's relatively easy to get a gun, okay, but there are considerably less murder numbers by gun in Switzerland. Why is that?
But
I
it's
do
just
think that-
Switzerland is exceptionally strict, dude. Like,
I
the-
believe that it also has something to do with poverty rates.
no, my dad lived in Switzerland for a while when he was younger,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's just like I don't know how to like word, but it's just like really strict. Like,
Okay.
you know how like when we play games and stuff, sometimes I like shout like a lot, or I
Mhm.
talk really loudly. Like you can't do that in Switzerland because you'll get a complaint like almost immediately.
Yeah, but
And,
I mean,
like the cops will be like, yo, stop, bro.
see, here's the thing I'm getting at. It's like it doesn't matter what laws you have, but if you don't maintain it, that's when the problems come from. Because in America's idea of doing that psychology testing, I think it's a good idea, because obviously you shouldn't be handing a gun to a person who's crazy. But why only do it once? I think every year this person should be writing a psych test or something.
Fair enough, that's a good point.
That's what I think. Well, because you see, here's the thing. Like in China, it's very hard to get a gun. It's pretty difficult to get a gun. Okay, I have guns in China because of years. There were years of things I had to do, right? But the thing is, what China, in my mind, does well is that it maintains it. So yes, I've gotten my guns. It doesn't now just let me off the hook. I still got to do things. I've still got to do like evaluations and proficiency testing. But then here's the thing interesting about China. Once you get past that initial stage about getting a gun, it becomes very easy to get more guns. And I think also it's because they didn't really think through like stuff. Because I've got a fully automatic 50 caliber machine gun in China, which is also that's pretty hard to get in America. But because I got through that initial stage,
China's always watching, so you're not necessarily going to get away with like pulling something like that off.
But it's like it's that maintaining. That's what I'm getting at. Yes, you might
Yeah, I
believe
think,
it's
like,
watching, but
you have to do. I think like you have to do frequent like psychological evaluation.
yeah, I do quite a lot.
Like-
I have to do quite a few.
Like you can't just like, you do it like once off and then people are like, oh, all right, sweet, you can just go do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know that's so like dumb. Like, what if
And-
you like hit your head, and all of a sudden like, something changes, just by chance, or something happens to you and like, you're just like, shit, I really want to kill some bitches right now. Then
Yeah.
it's problematic. Like you need to have, whether it be like every 3 months or every half a year or whatever, like
Yeah,
the rate
so-
may be. I think it needs to be more than one.
Yeah.
You can't just once off it. It's so like dumb.
And also in South Africa, right? I don't know the exact details, but from what I had to do to get my guns, there's like there's a specific lesson and a license thing you do for a handgun, then a specific one for a pistol, for a submachine gun, rifle, hunting rifle, etc. But really, all it is you go to the police station and you register the fact that you have you have a job, so you have a salary, you're over 21, you have a house, whatever. So I don't know what it's for, but I think maybe it's to check if you're stable and you're not gonna use the guns to start, robbing people.
Yeah.
But then after that, they give you like a 30-page book, tell you to fill it out. They mark the book, then they tell you to go to the gun range, and they get like a professional, and you have to just show him how to reload, where's the safety on the gun, how to cock the gun, how to maintain the gun, and then you get your gun. And then you need a letter of recommendation from a friend, so to say like, this guy I trust in. But I mean, like, that's really easy to get from a friend. So you see, it's a good idea that you have specific licenses for specific guns, and the fact that they do a background check saying that, okay, you've got a working salary and whatever, but they don't maintain that.
Yeah.
It's been 6 years. I haven't gone back to renew my license. I don't have to renew a license.
Do you think like, so I can understand for like handguns and such, right? But do you think like full-on automatic rifles and stuff should be allowed? 'Cause I don't-
That's not allowed in South Africa. I don't think you can.
I know,
get
but
fully
I'm saying I'm talking like in general, like for someplace like America even. Do you think things like that should be allowed? Because like, while it doesn't like attribute to a lot of the deaths that occur in America, because most of it comes from handguns, I still think the potential, that the fact it's an automatic rifle is
Yeah.
like
No, I
exceptionally
understand.
dangerous to have.
You see, here's the thing though for me, because it comes back to maintaining that rule, to keep checking on that whatever process you had to do, because if you can get a handgun, because the thing in South Africa is it works in stages, so you have to get a handgun, then from a handgun you can get a hunting rifle, I believe, then you go up like that, right? So I guess that kind of works, but again, they don't maintain it. And also, I don't think fully automatic rifles are legal in South Africa. I don't know. I haven't tried to buy it. But in China, the thing is, if you can get a gun license, it doesn't matter what gun you buy, they're going to continuously check on you. So I have a flippin', and I'm not like joking, I have a flippin' RPG-7 chilling in China. Right?
The more Kevin speaks about guns and what he has, the more he sounds like a psychopath. No, but continue, yeah?
But I feel like yes, I have an RPG-7, but they continuously check they continuously check on me just because I have a handgun license, if you get what I'm saying. So they don't care if you have an RPG-7, or they don't care if you have a 50 Barrett 50 cal. They're gonna carry on checking on you, and that's what I think
That's
is the
good.
important bit of it.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
yeah,
it's all fun and well with people discussing all of this, but in 10 years, people are going to be printing their own guns.
facts.
Fair,
that would be
actually.
cool.
So
Yeah.
how do you control that?
You see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
From my experience with being with guns, the material that nowadays, obviously, a standard 3D printer prints, you can't use that for a gun because it's just gonna explode. Because there's a lot of force when a bullet fires out and whatever. But I feel like that plastic's too brittle. But in 10 years' time, I think the
Yeah.
way to control it is getting a license to be able to print metal. If you get what I'm saying. I don't know, whatever.
Work.
Like,
See, but people also might have problems with that.
yeah.
Certain businesses
guess.
might use that for certain things, and they don't necessarily want that license. Plus, people can just jippo their rigs. People can 3D print 3D printers to 3D print metal guns.
Can you? I don't know if you can do that.
You literally can, and I'm sure it'll be so much
Jeez.
easier. Like in 10 years, easy. You just
Then I don't know how you maintain that.
The 3D printers that we're able to use now are like, they're decent, but like,
Yo, you
not
can't
like-
print. You won't be able to print a gun off that. I'm telling
You
you.
know
I
that-
but I'm saying like even like
Yeah.
the more like higher grade stuff that like companies would use or like the government would use, that's even like those are hectic printers.
Yeah.
You know that you can already print certain gun parts that function just as well as ones that you can buy.
Yeah, but
People
certain
printing
gun
apes.
parts.
Yeah, certain for now.
Yeah.
And you can. People are already starting to 3D print houses.
Like full out houses.
Yeah, full houses.
With
it's
what
giant,
material though?
It's giant 3D printers that print a mixture of concrete and other stuff.
Jeez. You know,
So,
I'm actually
we're-
kind of
we're not
excited to
far
see
off.
stuff like that. But
We're
you
not
see,
far off stuff.
here's the thing
Yeah.
though, with printing guns, right? I personally don't think that you can use something like plastic or even like a really tough plastic to print what we call a bolt, which is
Oh no, definitely not. But in a certain couple of years, it's going to be really easy.
yeah. But also, I'll say like, if your company is gonna print metal, and it's part of your company's like thing, you might as well get a license for it. If you get what I'm saying. Also,
licensing's
I'm
always
sure
a
in
way,
like
but
10
that
years, I'm sure like by then, even in 10 years, 3D printers which can print metal is going to be hell of a price to pay. Like it's going to be expensive as hell.
I'm not sure. Just like whenever technology improves, it gets cheaper.
True. I don't know how. I actually don't know how they're going to maintain that. I genuinely have no idea.
So how do you make
Leave
anything?
your ideas in the comment section below.
How do you make anything illegal if people can just print it?
I don't know.
You could say like maybe find a way to like regulate 3D printers in a sense, but that's also like really
But
tough.
see,
And like,
what if somebody designs
not
a new gun
likely.
from scratch and prints that whole new gun?
I mean, like, have you
Imagine
seen
that's
how
a
many
real
weird guns there are right now on the market?
Exactly. So can you imagine how many more they're going to be when
Jeez.
that's available to everyone?
I genuinely have no idea how you're gonna regulate something like that. What can you do? I don't know.
you
And
can't have
if
like
you make it
mandatory
illegal-
searches or whatever.
If you make it illegal, black market's just going to spring up at an entirely new rate.
Yeah,
Because it's so much
exactly.
easier to produce, undetected.
You could, I don't know.
I
Maybe
think,
there's,
like-
could you not make like a function? Not like a function. Like it functions like internet history almost. Like it goes through.
Yeah,
like,
but
what you
that's
print goes through like a.
See, that's a big problem though, because then the government tracks everything you do.
Yeah, and
It's,
people
they're
don't
not
like that.
tracking everything you do. Like they
Yeah,
already track your internet
so
history.
you
and that's
really
like the
think-
majority of what you do.
You really think that they're just going to stop at that?
I
Probably
hear
not,
what
but-
Daniel's talking about. I hear.
But what other way do you have to regulate it? If you're just printing stuff, it's not like
You don't
it's not
regulate.
hectically bad.
See,
You
here's the
don't
thing.
regulate.
Here's what I've got. Okay, is that look, I'm not an IT guy, so I wouldn't know. But if you could create 3D printers, right? Obviously, 3D printers still have to use a certain software. Okay, so if you could code in, like, I don't know, put like 600 firewalls or something. I don't know how that works, but if you make it really hard to hack that software, you can essentially put in restrictions on what it can print. So anything that resembles a gun, because
Yeah,
as
but then
weird as a
that's-
gun is, as weird as a gun can be, there's still, like, I would say 5 or 6 parts that will remain the same. Otherwise, a
I
gun
think-
won't work.
You
But I don't-
underestimate how people could change it.
Yeah, not only that, like even if you look at something like what the fuck? Is my phone ringing? Sorry, my alarm's going off for some reason. Like even look at something like I understand like in 10 years time or whatever, maybe it'll be like more likely that you can have that. But what if someone creates something that looks like that, but it recognizes it differently based off of your algorithm that you're using?
Yeah, you see, that's the problem.
You see, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with YouTube and Twitch. Like, if the Twitch bot hears you say something that resembles the N word, then there's a strong possibility that you get banned. Same thing like with YouTube. They heard you possibly say a swear word. You said chuck, but they heard fuck.
Thank you
like-
for demonetizing
Yeah,
this video,
honestly,
Michael.
There's going to be a certain point where they're going to have to just accept that they can't regulate it if they don't want to take people's rights away.
Yeah.
See,
I can
here's
see
what
that.
I'm thinking. In 10 years' time, right? If we're talking in 10 years' time, and that 3D printer comes out, then you're gonna have to start regulating the bullets, because
That
You-
is going to be the thing.
you're
Until
gonna have
people
to
start 3D printing their bullets.
until they start 3D printing bullets. Then you're gonna have to start regulating gunpowder, because you can't have bullets without gunpowder or black powder, whatever explosive powder. And then you see, and then that's where I think the line stops, because I don't think it's possible for people to print black powder. I don't believe.
Or people find a substitute, and it's open season.
Jesus, magnesium bullets! Holy
All-
shit!
All I'm saying is, there's going to be a certain point where they're just going to have to accept that they can't.
I hope I'm dead.
It's,
by
I
then.
mean, do you? It's the government though. Like, do you think that's honestly likely?
in
it's
our
not likely, but
in
it's gonna
South
have to
African
happen.
government, probably not. In China, yeah, they'll find a way. They will somehow. I don't know how, but they'll find a way.
I would rather everyone has access to guns than the government has.
I think then in that case you just have to have. Yeah, I think in that case you just have to have a stricter law to murder. If you get what I'm saying.
What?
Oof. Oh, that's pretty problematic.
No, because if you can't regulate the guns, then you have to regulate the actions that the guns create. If you get
What are
what
you
I'm
saying,
saying.
like death penalty?
I don't know.
Death penalty is like a hectic thing. Like,
I do not support the death penalty.
No, I know what
no,
you're saying.
Not only that,
but like
Put someone in solitary confinement.
even that, because like if you commit murder right now, you just get sent to prison for a long time. Maybe if you commit murder, then just get sent to solitary confinement for the rest of your time in jail. I don't know. I look. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know how you can regulate something like 3D
Major
printing.
old and bra moments in the coming years.
Yes.
You heard it here first, folks.
Oh man. Oh well.
even like not just like 3D printers. How far along do you think we'll be to like artificial intelligence in the next like?
Dude,
let's say
I
30
hope
years?
we stop with that shit, dude.
Yeah, it's low key scary. Like
Because Skynet be terrifying me.
Like, what if the robot's just like, yeah, humans are kind of like fucked, cunt. And then it's like, you know, I believe in the extermination of all humans, the mass genocide of the human race entirely. And then, you know, it's smarter than you, and it's like, lol, I just blocked your firewalls or whatever. And you're just like, well, fuck.
Yeah, no, I
I'd like, well, I can see like people wanting to make advancements just for like technological purposes. I don't think we should. Go super
I
far
think
with
AI is something we like close it. We shut the door on that and we don't ever touch it again.
People aren't going to do that.
I
though.
think the reward's better than the risk. People overhype it because of movies.
But you see, if you're talking about real, true AI, right? That's because a true AI essentially is supposed to resemble a human. If you get what I'm saying, it literally becomes a
Humans
super.
are primarily flawed because of emotion.
So you're saying that you make AI without the emotion,
Yes.
but then what if it somehow finds the logic in that kill? I mean, if you make an AI that says
I wouldn't find the logic. If it's set to do a certain task, it's still AI.
conserve, prevent the extinction of animals because of global warming, and then it comes to the logical conclusion that humans are the problem, which we are.
I mean,
but-
you don't have to give AI much power. It's just,
But then what's the point of having AI if you don't give it that much power?
I mean, you can let it think. Doesn't mean anything else.
I guess. But I mean, let's be real here. If a company were to make AI, it was gonna be for flipping. I don't know. It's gonna be for like maintaining a system or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh well.
Yeah.
Don't think there's much you can do in that stage, Arnold.
Yeah.
Hectic.
Oh man.
Well, this
Scammer gets
a
good.
interesting end.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you are now scared shitless because the world is
Coming
fucking
years.
terrifying. Okay. Oh well. I don't know how to end this, dude.
Kevin's like, well, fuck.
I've lost my will to live. Everything's so depressing.
Scammer gets scammed, don't be depressed.
Life sucks, and then you die.
All I can say is the future is uncertain, but the Valley of the Vibes is closed for the day.
Oh, yes.
Oh yes.
Tune in to us next week. Don't forget to leave your questions in the comments below, because we actually want to do our Q&A segment. You know, yeah.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Cheers, everyone.